Welcome to Fair Game. I'm Kristine Leahy. My guest today is a three-time World Series champion who won the 1989 World Series MVP as a pitcher with the Oakland A's. He had a stretch of 4 straight 20-win seasons and had one of the most menacing stares in baseball history. Dave Stewart, it's great to meet you.
It's good to meet you. Thanks for having me on.
You've got this nickname Smoke, and I like it. Where'd you get that?
An old friend of mine named Tack Wilson. We played Little League baseball together. And when I was in Little League, most people think that I always pitched, and I didn't. I was a catcher. Mm-hmm. And so even back when I was 11 and 12 years old, you know, when you throw a ball down to second base, most catchers stand up. Well, I did it from my knees. And so Tack was our center fielder, and he would say, "Throw that ball down there, Smoke, Smoke, throw the ball down there." And that name stuck with me. We ended up playing professionally together with the Dodgers organization. We were both drafted by the Dodgers. And so Smoke had left me for a good 6 or 7 years. Then all of a sudden at 18, it returned again when we were drafted by the Dodgers. So it stuck with me.
You liked it right away?
Oh, it was pretty cool. Back when you're 11, anytime you got a nickname, you know, when you're young, everybody's got to have a nickname. So Smoke was cool for me.
That's a very good one.
I loved it.
I like it too. So you had multiple football and basketball scholarship offers out of high school, no baseball offers. So how in the world did you get on the MLB radar?
There was an old guy, and his name was Eddie Jewell. Okay. And Eddie Jewell, he actually worked for the Kansas City Royals, but he promoted the talent in the Bay Area, whether it was with his organization or wherever. And so what Eddie used to do is he'd pick up all of the local talent, and we'd get in the back of his truck, and we'd play in tournaments every weekend, whether it was in San Rafael, San Mateo, Richmond, Alameda, but we would play in tournaments every weekend. And he started getting everybody out there, and the scouts were always at these tournaments, and I started getting recognition by Eddie Jewell helping me out.
And you mentioned this before, you were a catcher, you were not a pitcher.
Right.
So when you're drafted by the Dodgers, it didn't last very long, they switched you over to pitcher. How did you transition into doing that when you'd only played one way your whole life?
Well, the transition wasn't easy. My first year, I didn't win any baseball games. I think my record was 0-6. I had more walks than I had innings pitched. Then the second year, I didn't win any games again, and more walks than innings pitched. And then, but both years I was going to instructional league, which is a place that you take potential prospects or players to help them improve. And I went this one year, and I had an opportunity to work with Sandy Koufax. And working with Sandy Koufax, we took my mechanics and we just rebuilt me. And once that happened, the season started again. I went to, instead of Bellingham, Washington, 2 years, I went to Clinton, Iowa. And in Clinton, I ended up having an 18-4 season. And it just kind of changed everything. And all of a sudden, I was on the radar.
Were you happy about this transition, or you wanted to stay a catcher in some way?
Oh, no. When I got to Bellingham, I was talking to my coach then, or manager at that time, Bill Barrier, when I first showed up. And I had my catching gear, and I was ready to go. And Bill Barrier told me that I would no longer be catching. And I kind of backed up, and I said, "What do you mean?" He says, you're no longer going to be catching." And I said, "Well, what am I going to do?" He says, we're going to make you a pitcher. And I said, "I'm not doing it." I just flat out said, "I'm not doing it." And he said, "Yeah, you are. That's what we signed you to do. You're gonna pitch." He said, "We drafted 3 other catchers before you." I said, "I'm not doing it." And he says, "I'm gonna give you some time to think about it." And then he said, "How did you get here?" I said, "How did I get to Bellingham?" He says, "Yeah." I said, "I took a flight from Oakland to Portland, and then I took a small plane from Portland to Bellingham." And he says, "I'm going to tell you this. If you decide that pitching isn't what you want to do, your trip back will be on that bus." And quite frankly, I wasn't worried about the bus ride. I was worried about telling my mother that I wasn't going to be playing because my mother was one of those ladies. My father had passed by then, so my mother was one of those ladies that believed if you made a commitment, because I'd passed up football scholarships and basketball scholarships, you make a commitment then, and this is what you say you want to do, then you don't get to back out of it. And so I didn't want to deal with my mother.
Wow, so you reluctantly were like, all right, I'll try pitching.
That's how I ended up doing it.
Wow, that's crazy. I can't imagine now them doing that kind of thing.
I think it still happens, but
Yeah?
I think the process is different in this sense. Before I got there, I think they knew I was going to be pitching, and so my area scout probably should have let me know that you're going to be pitching versus not letting me know. And so now I think they let you know, hey, look, we don't see your future to be as a catcher. You're gonna be pitching from this point on, and then you just go from there.
You really hit your stride once you got to Oakland, and that's where you were born and raised. You're playing in front of people that you kind of grew up with. What did that all mean to you when you went on the field?
For me, it was fun. I had a good time. I was, eating my mom's home cooking.
She cooked for you while you were playing the whole time?
All the time, yeah.
You went to Mom's house after the game.
That's right, Southern style too. She's from New Orleans.
Nice.
I was eating fried chicken, okra, gumbo, potato salad, catfish fried. Shoot, talking about grubbing.
They don't have that kind of food in San Francisco.
You can't even get it at it. There's no restaurant better than my mom's cooking.
Where is she tonight?
My mom's 93 now. She probably
she can't?
I'm cooking for her now.
Can you cook as well as she can?
I can cook.
Really?
6 sisters.
Well, hey, next time you're in the show, we're going to be in that kitchen.
When you got 6 sisters, a brother, 8 kids, if you can't cook, you gonna starve.
You had to cook for yourself.
Of course.
What's your specialty?
Cheerios and milk.
That's not a chef. Sir.
No, my all-time favorite, the thing I make best is, my mom told me, showed us, everybody, if you're a Stewart and you can't make potato salad, then you get kicked out of the family. So potato salad is one of my favorites. I'm one of the best at grilling steaks, but past that, I make a real good meatloaf. I make a real good smothered chicken.
Ooh.
And I can, as they say in my mother's hometown of Louisiana, I put my foot in a gumbo.
In a gumbo.
That's right.
What did you eat before games?
I didn't eat before games.
At all?
No, I couldn't keep food down. For a career, I was always nervous before my starts. And so if I ate, it would always come back up. So I just stopped eating before starts.
So you were fasting before fasting was even a thing?
I didn't even know it, but yes.
Wow. Why were you nervous?
I think it's just the excitement. I mean, being a big league player, it was a thing that I dreamt of when I was a kid. Well, that's not true. I dreamt of being a professional athlete.
Okay.
And so when you're actually, and if anybody says anything different, when you're actually on a field and you're playing in front of 20,000, 30,000, 40,000 people, you get nervous. I don't care what anybody says. You get nervous because even when I knew what the outcomes were going to be, meaning that I knew I was going to be the winner of games or I was going to pitch well enough to win, there's still the things that you can't anticipate that makes you nervous. And I was nervous for 16 years.
Check out our YouTube channel, FairGame on FS1 to catch all the best highlights of our show. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you never miss an episode.